Hi guys, welcome to the channel. This is our first video. I'm Alex.
I'm Lewis.
And this is Built to Bust. No, it's not. So guys, the plan for this vehicle is, this is going to be our shop truck. This is going to be our tow vehicle. The bed in the back, as it is a 110 hardtop, is really substantial, and will fit all sorts of parts in there for our future builds. So our plan is to build this up, heavy duty towing vehicle. A lot of the drive line we're gonna either upgrade to heavy duty kit or just replace and rebuild. The transfer box on all Defenders is probably the best thing Land Rover's ever built, so that will take all sorts of power, but the drive lines, the half shafts, are not so good, so we might upgrade those. And so yeah, this is the first build of many, and we are building our tow vehicle and shop truck. So guys, as I'm sure you can tell from this Defender behind me, it is not currently complete, and that is because we got a little bit overexcited and started dismantling it before we did any filming. So I'll give you a quick walk through and tell you what we've done so far, and then we'll crack on with stripping it back and taking it down to the chassis. Right guys, as I mentioned, we already started dismantling this Defender 110. It's got a TD5 engine in it. It is a 2004, which was the end of the TD5. So as you can see, the intercooler's on the floor underneath. On the front here, you would have had your radiator grille, and along the top there is a support which holds the radiator and also secures the bonnet. On the side you would have the two wings. There is an inner wing and an outer wing. You have to take the outer wing off first, and then the inner wing comes off quite simply. The outer wing is held on with 4 bolts here into the bulkhead. You undo those, undo a load on the inside. I'll show you on the actual wings in a minute, and then that comes away. On each side you've got a wiring loom, which runs to these connections on the bulkhead, runs forward, does your side indicators, your front indicators and front headlights. Yeah, we've taken a few air pipes off the front. Obviously the radiator's not on there anymore. And beyond that, there's the radiator. Beyond that, I think that is about it for the front. This is a 110 hard top, so it is pretty sparse and basic in the first place, but this one had a few Defender specs on it, like power windows, and that's about as much as you get in this. So the seats have come out. Underneath here, under the driver's seat, the ECU sits here. Here is all of the loom that we have detached, some relays, and then running through this hole here, you have a main power lead to the battery, which sits on the passenger side. Over in that, which is typically the battery box, we've removed the battery and any of the loom. So then on top of this, when everything was in place, there would have been a rubber floor much like this, which is on the gearbox tunnel. We've removed the handbrake, which would sit here on these 2 bolts. Here's the handbrake cable, which we've pulled back through, and then obviously the steering wheel is missing. A lot of the loom we have disconnected, taken the dash out, taken all of the stereo out and all of the electronics, disconnected any accessories. As I mentioned before, these are the wings here. So if you look along here, we have the mounting points to the bulkhead, 4 along there, and then on the inside you will see a bolt hole here, and there's further ones along, and they connect to these, which are the inner wings. So what we've done so far, we've taken the bolts out along here, we've drilled the bolts out here, we've taken all the bolts that run along the back out, underneath that airbox included. And now what we're going to do is start taking this floor plate out. Once this floor plate comes out, straight through to the ground there, you've got this side support and the box, and we think if we can get underneath here we can start to lift it, because despite taking out quite a few bolts on there, that seat box still seems very, very solid. So guys, you will have just seen we were cutting off some bolts here. I'm afraid this is the nature with Defenders. They love rust, and everything is seized. We have removed bolts where we can without cutting, but we are now in a position where a lot of things need to be cut off because either access is poor or they're completely seized. If you're building a vehicle from scratch or doing any work on a car and the bolts are in good shape, take them off, label them, reuse them. Unfortunately on this one, it's going to be a bit of a nuts and bolts restoration. As you can see, everywhere we look is rust. Taking out some of these floor bolts, and this is what I was saying about Defenders being completely rotten. Everything just snaps off. If you can get good enough purchase on it, it will just break. So that's what we're going through at the moment. Every time we try and take something off, we've then got to take the head off, smack it out with a screwdriver. A couple of our sockets are fully jammed with screws or nuts. But yeah, we'll carry on with this approach of breaking everything off. So it will be a nuts and bolts restoration, because every single thing needs replacing. Right guys, after about 40 minutes of using a Dremel to take the bolts off, we've managed to get that floor piece out. We're gonna have to stop for today because we have gone through all of our Dremel heads and need to get off to another thing, but we will catch you in a few days.
Last week we were using the Dremel to try and cut through these bolts. This week we're going to try a new tool we've had for a while. We've only tried it on wood. We've got new carbide blades to see if we can go through these steel bolts. Let's see how it goes. Thanks for watching, guys. We're going to wrap it up there today. Make sure you come back and watch us take the rest of the body off.
And make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you want to see more regular updates, head over to our Instagram channel.
Cheers.
Cheers.